So I am back from the Dragon Ball Fusion World Nationals in Oceania, and I ended up with top 16 placing, which is very impressive for my standards. I was going into it maybe going in top 64, but I really had a good time that weekend. I appreciate everybody coming and saying hi and recognizing me. Really put a smile on my face. But today we are going to be doing a deck list here for what I ran for top 16 place. For the Swiss rounds, I went 7-1. We had 8 rounds in total. And then when we went to the top cut, top 16, I got eliminated by the mirror match. And the mirror match that we are talking about is Angel Goku here. Shouts to Dane for giving me his alt art Goku. It's actually so hard to find alt art leaders for sale around in Australia for me. So I appreciate him selling me his. And hopefully you find another one for the collection. This was one of the prizings that we got for top 16, which is the this UI Goku playmat. I'm probably not going to be using it, but for the video, I have it as the backdrop here. And then we used for the energy marker my Sparking Zero. Shouts to Monado for selling me his, which is very cool. A lot of people had a look at this and were glazing over it. So anyway, this is my Goku list here, but this list is a little bit different as compared to the #1 national player, the winner. Shouts Charlie for winning that. He will be my Oceania partner flying to LA because if you guys don't know, I won the online tournament and I get invited over to LA as well. Whoever won nationals gets invited to LA for the grand finals. I think we'll be playing in different tournaments though, so we'll both be repping and hopefully we both place high and maybe I can do well. Who knows? It is in January, so time will tell and things might change up because as we get more results for nationals, people will adjust their deck list to face certain lists, of course. A lot of the top cut were actually Angel Goku, so I think what we're going to be seeing later on is a lot of red, a lot of green coming up. Black might be reduced a lot in these upcoming days in representation. Anyway, let's begin here with the list. When building this list, I was honestly assuming, because it was so early on with the release of set 4, I was going to assume, of course, black because it was just already popping off already, but also some of the strong set 3 competitors, which was Jiren with the new secret rare as well, Daima Goku, just because the red system was just getting a lot of upgrades in set 4. And as well as droids, because droids, you know, never fails realistically. But I definitely made a mistake there, as there was a lot of Angel Coup. Anyway, we'll start off with the non-Satan City stuff. So I have 4 super combos, of course. I told myself that if I place top 32, I would max rarity this deck. So I'm in the works of doing that right now. Of course, 4 super combos. I don't think any deck does not run 4 super combos. The day we get a Satan City super combo, holy crap, this deck's going to multiply in performance. 4 Pilafs. Gotta have 4 Pilafs because it is literally like the best card for blue in any blue deck, really. Then we have the 6 cost Zeno. I run only 1 of. The reason why is it's get out of jail free card. I think if we see more Angel Coups, we might have to increase this to 2, but 1 was good enough. Yeah, I didn't really actually get to play it at the end of the day. Oh, I played it 1 time. This is good against red. Just to bottom deck the secret rare UI, so you just don't see it again. And then you don't swing any other time. You leave this guy active, so you get a 10k combo. 1 double strike. Double strike is always a way to win. Got the double strike win 1 time for the most part. Very clutch when it comes up. Then we got 2 secret rare Vegetos. The new one, set 4. It's very strong. Bouncing anything back is always very, very good. It feels bad sometimes when you verse red with their secret rare. But overall, keeping a 40k body on the board, or potentially 50k, is really strong. So yeah, I prefer over the 5 cost now. Just because there's some really good, strong 6 cost. And of course, that means green is a little bit more vulnerable as well. Of course, the 0 combo, which is why we don't run too many double strikes as well. And of course, it keeps the whole Satan City package as high as it can be. I'm running, what, 4, 8, 9, 10, 12 non-Satan City cards. So when you do the blind flip, it feels satisfying. You know, you got a high percentage of actually getting that. All right, so to the Satan City package here, we do have 4 high schools. High school is, you know, bread and butter for this deck, being able to cheese out a 4 cost or just any of the Satan City cards realistically, if you get bad luck. For 2, you know, 3 technically if you play it on the turn, is just so energy efficient. This deck is all about being energy efficient, and that's why it's super strong. I run 3 prefer girls with short hair. Honestly, it came down to it. If you don't see this card, it really hinders you back in the mirror match. So I want to probably up this to 4 somehow. It is a super tight deck. I'm running 51 cards in this deck. It is so tough to fit everything in. Everything's so good in the Satan City stuff. So you had to find some really interesting places to cut down. For me, I just did this because if they did delete my board, this was essentially a dead card. And then, yeah, you only really need to see it like 2 of them. And then you've got it going, which is why I had it at 3. But there was some times where I couldn't find it. And I was like, man, I wish I had the extra draws and the filter. 3 great Saiyamans to bottom deck. This is your control to get big stuff out, little stuff out for just 1 cost or even for free. And I like it at 3. 4 is a bit too much. 3 is pretty good. I'll keep it at 3. 2's too little. I think this is really good for the black matchup. So you kind of need at least 3 to 4, and 3's good. Then we have probably one of the most important cards in the deck, and that is Sharpener. It is reflipping Satan City, reducing the extra, makes all of this free. Essentially is like feeling like Pot of Greed, this card. That's how strong it is. It feels like Pot of Greed. Playing for free, this, drawing 2. Yeah, it goes hard. And having 2 on board is so good. If you can keep it on board, of course, that's the hardest part. But if you can and the opponent can't answer that, it starts steamrolling. It starts, you know, snowballing into something that just gets out of hand really quickly. Then we have our searcher for the deck. We have 4 erasers here. You know, searching all of this is just great. Yes, it bottom decks super combos, but with the draw power, you kind of get this back anyway. Yeah, Pilafs get bottom deck. It's not the biggest deal. Just some of your big cards. I think this is probably the only thing that was like, when I saw it, and I saw it go to the bottom, or this goes to the bottom, I'm like, okay, well, we got to start digging again. But yeah, eraser is super important. And it's just nice turn 1 if you don't have Sharpener or High School. This is kind of what I'm mulligan for, is the High School and Sharpener combo. Because if you play this, you flip, you play this, you just essentially, for 1 energy, played 2 energy for turn 1, which is so good. And it sets you up with the field, sets you up with this. Next turn, you could, you know, play, you know, another 1 cost Satan City and play Prefer Girls Short Hair, and then use his effect and bottom deck of something. I don't know. There's so many ways you can play this. It's super flexible. Then we have 3 Hercules. He reduces cost of cards by 2. I left them at 3 here. You'll see why, but if you don't run the feature card that I'm going to show you later on, you definitely make this guy a 4. He just gets in the late game. This is really good to get rid of, you know, the big cards out, just for the cost of 1. Overall, really good card, and he's 10k combo, so it's like great. I run 1 Videl. My package was not the 2 cost Videl, so I only ran 1. I'm going to keep it like that just because I am a great Saiyaman fanatic, I guess you could say. But I do want to increase this to 2 somehow. Somehow, I do want to increase this to 2. Just because in the mirror match, this is one of the most important cards to have. Because it is so... You want to be as efficient, more efficient than your opponent in the mirror match. In the other matches, it's not so important. Yeah, it's kind of nice sometimes. pulling out the Videl for just 1 energy. It's not that game changing, but in the mirror match, getting a Videl out for 1 is just really, really strong. And so, yeah, I need to now adjust the deck for the mirror match. I honestly did not expect that many Angel Coups coming up into this Nationals, which is why I didn't really opt in to go for more Videls. I originally had it at 2. I think 2 is a good number. Or if you want to play 4 of the 2-cost Videls, which then you can increase this to 4, of course. Speaking of Videls, we have the amazing 0 combo 2-cost Videl. She is great. She is another Pilaf. She is a free swing. Another Satan City card. She's important. She recycles a lot. Even more than Pilaf, because if you grab Pilaf with something else, then you can't really go Pilaf looping. So she picks up Pilaf, and then you can do Pilaf to this, or she pick up whatever. And then if they can't answer the Videl, then you're getting more and more resources by the day. Then we have the 4-cost Gohan. Yeah, I mean, he's the boss monster for Satan City, you can say. Bottom decking 3 costs, potentially 5 costs with the Hercule. And yeah, in the mirror match, this card is very important to see. You want to get rid of all of these little 1-drops, so that they have to rebuild their system once again. All right, so now this is where the deck pivots into somewhat unknown territory, or like territory that wasn't really shown in the Nationals, and that is the Great Saiyaman vanilla package. So I run 3 of the Great Saiyaman 2, and then 4 of the Great Saiyaman 4. Like I said, I built this deck to go up against red and green most of the time, because that's what I was really expecting. Didn't do my research, obviously. I thought black was free, so no matter what, as long as you got the original Satan City package, black was like the easy matchup. But when it comes to Jiren, for example, I needed more 30k bodies, big bodies, to get some swings in. Make sure you get rid of the cards in Jiren's hand. And this felt good. I do like this, and I want to keep it like this. Maybe go down to 2 if I must do so, if I want to increase this to 2. But it feels nice. You have this at 4. You can discard it as protection, and it doesn't feel bad at all. Like, if you discard, like, Hercule or, like, Eraser or something, like, and then you have to pick it up with Videl, it's a bit awkward. You know, a bit tiring. This guy, you can discard, and you know that if you flip this girl, he comes back. And, yeah, it's just more aggro cards to get through androids quicker, because obviously their late game is just much more destructive. And then, of course, the Jiren swing. And then if you verse Secret Rare UI Goku, you have bigger bodies that don't die instantly after 1 Secret Rare UI Goku swing. And that's why I opted into having this system instead of the 2-cost Videls. Definitely a fine balancing act to do, but that will come through time, I think. Then I have, for my last 2 cards, the trump card that nobody was expecting and nobody runs, truth be told. And that is the 4-cost Krillin from the Diamond Vegeta starter deck, right? He's a Satan City card. He's the only Satan City card in that specific starter deck. And all he does is, if you have 7 or fewer cards, you can reduce the cost of an opponent's battle card by 1. So kind of like Hercule, but only reducing by 1. And it's a 30k swing. So what my goal was in like an Androids matchup or a Jiren matchup was blind flipping High School into one of these cards. If I saw this, I would discard this card hopefully in my hand, and then able to spam out 8 energy for the cost of 2. And then if I saw this, then you know, it's just another vanilla, you can say. The 1 cost reduction did come in play for me when it came to Jiren matchup, where he had the 5 cost that was when he had the 5 cost double strike on board, he was essentially blocking my double strike win. So with Krillin on board, I was able to reduce it to reduce it by 1 cost, because I didn't have Hercule in the hand at that point. Being a 30k swing made it so that it was kind of a threat. He kind of needed to, you know, block it, because if he went to 1, then I could just single strike him with like Pilaf loops or something like that. and then you place the double strike and bottom deck the 5 cost, and then you can now double strike freely onto Jiren, which is really good. If you get that line where you play this guy out before the android starts spamming the 4 cost, then you can go this guy swing into this guy, and you can bottom deck the 4-3 combo or the 4-2 combo. So I kind of like them in that case. But if we don't see androids or a lot of like Jirens and Reds, then I might have to take him out, sadly. And I really wanted to keep him into the deck. So with this deck, I only lost to Zamasu in the Swiss based off time, and then they calculate who has more health. I unfortunately lost there. Given enough time, I probably would have gotten through and bled through him. I did beat a Jiren matchup. I did beat my Daima Goku matchup, and I did beat Android's matchup. So I felt that was pretty impressive, as those were my kind of like harder matchups. And then there was like 4 babies I had to deal with, or 3 babies I had to deal with. So those were essentially no problem at all. Didn't find any issues there. Then the mirror match, I unfortunately lost because this system is, although very strong, get it out. The more times you can play all your extras, the better it is on the mirror, I think. But that's going to be it for today's video. That's the deck list that I did end up running my thought process on it. I hope you guys did enjoy. Shout outs to everyone that I met. Hopefully we get to see each other once again very, very soon. But with that said, if you enjoyed today's content, make sure you subscribe and leave a like. I'll see you guys in the next video as always. Until then, peace.